Michael Jordan did end up going to the Golden State Warriors to team up with Kobe Bryant and LeBron James.
Yo, Pierre, you want to come out here?
Alright, so today we are doing a video that I've been wanting to do for a while. We're basically putting every single NBA player of all time in one fantasy draft. So every player as old as like Wilt Chamberlain to as new as Victor Wembanyama are going to be in this fantasy draft. Now I did download a roster. It is the most highly used roster for the Legend Prime fantasy draft. There's a lot of 99s and 98s on this roster, and some of you guys might be saying, you know, some of these guys might not be 98s, which you could be right, could be wrong. I don't know. I mean, the guy made the roster like as best as he could. He couldn't get every single player like to its accurate overall, but yeah, we're gonna see. Right when I hit advanced, the draft is gonna start. So the Grizzlies are on the board first and they get the first pick. They draft Kareem with the first pick, D Wade with the second pick. So LeBron or Jordan do not go first or second. Jordan goes third to Miami Heat, and LeBron falls all the way to the 5th spot to the Clippers. Now they do have it's the 26-year-old LeBron James, but I mean, still, I feel like he should be highly drafted or more high drafted if he's younger. Kobe falling to the Mavs, KD falling to the Hornets, Wilt going to the 10 to the Pistons, Thunder drafted Chris Paul, Shaq went to the Bucks. I'm a little behind on the draft order right now. It's going fast. But yeah, you guys see this. Harden going to the Nets now. Karl Malone, aka Josh Giddey, going to the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Warriors. Curry fell all the way to the Jazz at 19. That would have been crazy if he would have fell all the way to the Warriors. Allen Iverson falling all the way to the number 25 spot. Luka getting picked in the first round by the Spurs. And now the Bulls are up. Now, I had to pick a user team. I couldn't like auto pick the draft. So we are just going to draft the highest overall. We're going to give the Bulls Joel Embiid. T-Mac went to the Sixers. And now we got the second round. And the Bulls get another pick. We honestly can just simulate the rest of the draft and then just go check the roster, so I don't have to make 2 picks for him. But like, if we see how crazy like this league is gonna be, this is the 8th round of the draft and we got like 89 overall, Jay Rich, and I can't really scroll up anymore because every time a pick gets made. But Chris Middleton just went in the like 5th round. Zach LaVine. So I mean, there's still like a lot of high overalls getting drafted in the 8th round of the draft. Okay, but let's check these rosters out and then make our prediction on who's gonna win the NBA Finals. All right, we're gonna do it by viewing like the starting lineup. So the 76ers have Walt Frazier, T-Mac, Billy Cunningham, Draymond Green, and Dikembe Mutombo. Not a bad lineup at all. The Bucks got JoJo White starting at point guard, Richie Guerin at the 2, Tatum at the 3, Charles Barkley at the 4, and Shaq at the 5. So the NBA TNT crew getting teamed up. We're just missing Kenny Smith, and then maybe Ernie could be like their coach or something. They got J.R. Smith on the bench playing no minutes. I'm actually kind of tempted to go in there and make J.R. Smith the higher overall. That's kind of disrespectful. J.R. Smith prime 84 overall. That's disrespectful. Chicago Bulls got Mark Price, Jerry Sloan, Marquez Johnson, Anthony Davis, and Joel Embiid. So they did draft another big man. So they have one of the best big man cores in the league, along with the Bucks so far. They got Ginobili off the bench, Brad Daughtry, Kyle Lowry. I don't know who this is. He looks like a waiter at like an Italian restaurant. I have no clue who that Byron Beck is. Jerry West starting at the 1 for the Cavs, Donovan Mitchell at the 2. So Donovan Mitchell still falling to the Cavs, which is his real life team. Elvin Hayes at the 4 and D-Rob at the 5. Magic Johnson for the Celtics. That looks weird. That's his like rival, and he's their starting point guard now for the Celtics. Pete Maravich at the 2, Jimmy Butler at the 3, Bob Love at the 4, Artis Gilmore at the 5 with Trae Young, Zach Randolph, Michael Redd, Zach LaVine, Truck Robinson off the bench, Jason Terry. I mean, some of these players like Jason Terry should be getting some minutes, right? He's getting no minutes at all. Then we got Isaiah Thomas on the Clippers, Joe Dumars, LeBron James, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Jermaine O'Neal, along with Rudy Gobert. We got Kareem, Al Horford, Sean Marion, Devin Booker. The Hawks got Penny Hardaway, Klay Thompson, Larry Bird, Bob Pettit, and Cat. Their bench is kind of weak compared to the rest of the league. I mean, obviously none of these teams are like bad, but some of these teams are gonna be better than oh wow, Victor, Zion, and Jordan teaming up on the Heat. That is a crazy like combination, along with Steve Nash and Grant Hill. Let's see how this bench is looking. Jaylen Brown, Kenny Anderson, Monta Ellis, Joakim Noah, Latrell Sprewell. Not the best bench, but it's serviceable for sure. Damian Lillard, Ray Allen, KD, Antoine Jameson, and Bill Walton on this team. Then we got Curry on the Jazz with George Gervin, Eddie Jones, Dolph Schayes, Bob Lanier, Domantas Sabonis, Michael Ray Richardson, Danny Granger, Otis Birdsong. The Kings got John Stockton, Clyde Drexler, Lamar Odom, Blake Griffin, Alonzo Mourning, DeMarcus Cousins. Pretty good team right there. The Knicks got Allen Iverson, Elgin Baylor, Ron Artest, Dave DeBusschere, and Bob McAdoo. Okay, I mean, this is an alright team. Dennis Johnson, Richard Hamilton, James Worthy, Giannis, and Willis Reed on the Lakers. They got Ron Harper, Julius Randle, Hall Greer off the bench. The Magic, Tyrese Halliburton is starting at a point guard in an all-time simulation. I don't know about that one, but we got Adrian Dantley at the 2, Carmelo at the 3, Tim Duncan at the 4, and Dave Cowens at the 5. This is a pretty good team. Wow, this team looks good. The Mavs got Russ, Kobe, DeMar, Kevin Love, and Robert Parrish. Now, their three-point shooting might be in question a little bit here. The Nets got Shea, Harden, Bernard King, Jerry Lucas, Yao Ming. That's a good starting 5 right there. Nuggets got Tony Parker, Brandon Roy, Dominique Wilkins, Serge Ibaka, Wayne Embry, Chris Webber, Jerry Stackhouse. Pacers got Gary Payton, Bill Sherman, Andre Kirkolenko, Paul Gasol, Hakeem Olajuwon. It's a pretty decent. I mean, all these teams, obviously, like I said, are going to be good. We got Derrick Rose on the Pels, along with David Thompson, Julius Erving, Larry Johnson, and Mel Daniels. Earl Monroe, Reggie Miller, Paul Pierce, Spencer Haywood, and Wilt Chamberlain. Not a bad team for the Pistons at all. The Raptors got Bob Cousy, Dwayne Wade, Mark Aguirre, Dan Issel, and Dwight Howard. Definitely not the best team we've seen today. We got the Gilbert Arenas, John Havlicek, Joe Johnson, Dennis Rodman, and Bill Russell for the Rockets. Luka is on the Spurs starting at point guard. We got Cliff Hangin at the 2, Kawhi at the 3, Sean Kemp at the 4, and Wes Unseld at the 5, along with Kemba off the bench, Gail Goodrich off the bench, and Peja. Suns got Moses Malone and Dirk starting at the 4 and 5, but then kind of their starting lineup falls off. I mean, it's not a bad starting 3 with the rest of them, but I mean, definitely could have been better. Thunder got Chris Paul, Sidney Moncrief, Rick Barry, Chris Bosh, and Nate Thurman. This team's all right. T-Wolves with Kyrie Irving. Anthony Edwards somehow still falls to the Timberwolves. Chris Mullin at the 3, Karl Malone at the 4, and Patrick Ewing at the 5. Trailblazers got Baron Davis, Vince Carter, Scottie Pippen, Stoudemire, George Mikan. Ja Morant goes to Golden State. Mitch Richmond at the 2, Glenn Rice at the 3, Kevin Garnett at the 4, and Jokic at the 5. With Allen Houston, De'Aaron Fox, Marcus Camby, Brandon Ingram off the bench. I'm not gonna lie, this might be my pick to win it. This team's nice. Jokic and Garnett at the 4-5, Glenn Rice at the 3, a good shooter. Mitch Richmond and Ja, that team's pretty nice. Wizards, this is the last team, I believe. Oscar Robinson, Lou Hudson, Paul George, Kevin McHale, and Andrew Bynum. All right, if I had to go a West and East pick, I'm taking the Warriors out of the West with Ja Morant. This is the Ja Morant team we just saw. And then I'm not gonna lie, bro, I'm taking the Miami Heat. I'm taking the Miami Heat with Steve Nash, Jordan, Zion, and Victor. Those are my picks so far. That's gonna be my picks for the playoffs. Oscar Robinson, who averaged the triple-double back in the day, he basically just averaged a triple-double in this stacked league, which is really impressive. Winning the MVP, 22.2 points per game, 8.3 boards, and 11.7 assists. Now, if I had to pick a MVP to start the preseason, I definitely would not have picked Oscar Robinson, but Oscar Robinson surprising everyone. Victor Wembanyama winning the Rookie of the Year. I have no clue if the Heat even made the playoffs, to be honest. I didn't even check the standings yet. I was going to wait to check the standings till we get to the playoffs. Manu Ginobili winning 6th Man of the Year, and the Chicago Bulls putting up 15.1 points per game. Kevin Garnett winning the DPOY, 2.6 blocks per game. What did Wemby get? Wemby averaged 2.5 blocks per game, so fell a little short of the Defensive Player of the Year in his rookie year in this stacked league. Al Horford wins the Most Improved Player, putting up, I don't know how you even have a Most Improved Player in this league. It's just given to someone random, I guess. But then Clutch Player of the Year, Carmelo Anthony, who put up 24.1 points per game. Adrian Griffin was the Coach of the Year, so they had the best record in the East, the Milwaukee Bucks. And then the Cavs must have had the second best record, or no, third best record. It says third in conference. I don't know how this guy got Executive of the Year, but let's go check these first All-NBA teams. And all these guys, like a lot of these guys are on like one-year deals, so these teams are going to change if they don't re-sign them. Now, I'm not controlling any team's off-season moves. I have it on all auto, so they're just going to be doing what they want to do. But first All-NBA team, obviously, as I was yapping, you guys were able to read these guys off. How much points per game did T-Mac average? T-Mac put up 25.8 points per game. I definitely want to go check who led the league in scoring after this too. Jerry Lucas, Hakeem, LeBron, Bob McAdoo, and Tim Duncan on the All-NBA second. All-NBA third goes to Wilt, Kareem, Shaq, Walt, and Steph Curry. Jordan did make the All-NBA first team. I'm guessing Victor did not make an All-NBA team second or defensive team at all. That's surprising. He averaged like 2.5 blocks per game. I would have thought he would have got it. All right, so my pick was the Golden State Warriors out of the West. They don't even make the playoffs. I bet they missed the playoffs by like 2 games, but like that's all right. So this is the playoff picture so far for that. The East, my pick was the Miami Heat and Michael Jordan. Please be in the plan. There's no way both my picks didn't even make the playoffs. Spurs versus the Rockets. This is the first elimination play-in game. Let's see who can come away with the win. Obviously, all close games in the fourth quarter. We are definitely going to hop in and watch, and this looks like it's going to fit that. If the Spurs score another bucket, we will hop in and watch, but it looks like Houston's going to walk away. Houston is going to walk away with the win. So Gilbert Arenas, John Havlicek, Bill Russell. This is the team. Gilbert goes for 30, knocking out the Spurs. The Spurs leading scorer was the cliff-hanging guy with 22 points. Sean Kemp with 19. Luka with 14. Kawhi with 14. So Kawhi and Luka not even making the playoffs. Next game was the Sixers versus the Bucks, and it looks like the Sixers got this one. They're up 8 with 50 seconds left. Yeah, they are going to win the game. So T-Mac leading the way for the 76ers, knocking out the Atlanta Hawks. Penny Hardaway was their leading scorer with 21 points. All right, we got the first round of the playoffs. Now, there's a lot of good teams, a lot of good series going on. We're going to watch like elimination games. All right, we got one game 7 with the Grizzlies and the Trailblazers. We got a game 6 with the Lakers and the Suns. Yeah, a bunch of game 6s. We're going to simulate through the game 6s. Okay, and we have 2 game 7s. We have the Grizzlies and Trailblazers and the Knicks versus the Pacers. This is the first game 7 right here. The Grizzlies versus the Trailblazers. And the Trailblazers knock out Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and the Grizzlies. The Trailblazers leading scorer was Vince Carter with 24 points. And now we got our next game 7. It's not the, I don't know why I said the Pacers. It is the Bucks versus the 76ers. So the 1 seed actually versus the 8 seed is getting took into a game 7. Just showing you how competitive the league really is. All right, so we are in game 7. The Jason Tatum, Charles Barkley led Bucks. Tatum with the ball, spin move, get into the bucket, and he lays it in for a 4-point lead. Tatum with 17 points tonight. Wait, don't the Bucks have Shaq too? Why is Shaq not in the game? Did he foul out? All right, Shaq only has 2 fouls, and he's not in the game. I don't know why he's not in the game, but T-Mac trying to lead his team to the second round. Walt Frazier with a fadeaway 3. He's going to miss. That might be it. Shaq's on the score table ready to check in, but Scott pulling up. That might be it. That's it. I'm going to hit into the end. That should be it. Should be a Bucks win. Yeah, the Bucks win by 9 points. Shaq leading the way with 25 points. Frazier falling 1 point short of 30 points. T-Mac with 27. I just realized Steph Curry lost in the first round. He's on the Jazz. He just lost in the first round to the Rockets in 6 games. The Suns get swept by the Portland Trailblazers. So the Portland Trailblazers with Amari Stoudemire, Baron Davis, Brad Beal, Scottie Pippen, Vince Carter sweep the Suns that did have that Dirk Nowitzki and Moses Malone front court. We got the chance to go to 2 game 7s right now in the Washington series and the New Orleans series. We go to game 7 in both of them, and there's actually a chance to have 3 game 7s if the Knicks can beat the Bucks one more time, and they do. We have 3 game 7s in the second round, and the first game 7 is not going to be close at all as the Brooklyn Nets get bounced by the Washington Wizards. Oscar Robinson, the MVP of the league, 31 points, 10 boards, 18 assists, played 37 minutes, and then the rest of their team doing their thing as well. Paul George with 20, Lou Hudson with 22, Caron Butler 21. The Nets getting bounced though. SGA and Harden, the SGA and Harden duo not able to overcome the Wizards. So 2 really good teams. One had to get eliminated and was the Brooklyn Nets. What game 7 starts next? It is the Rockets versus the Pelicans. Now the Pelicans have Derrick Rose, but the Pelicans roster, like the rest of the roster, obviously they have legends on it, so it's a good roster, but like compared to the rest of the league, I just did not think they were going to be like making any noise, and they have a chance to make the Western Conference Finals. It does not look like they are going to be able to though, as yeah, the Rockets beat them by 13 points. Tim Hardaway leading the way for the Rockets with 21. Joe Johnson, that's Joe Johnson with 18. Next we have the Bucks versus the Knicks. Can Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal make the Eastern Conference Finals? Looks like they are going to. That's kind of disappointing that no game 7. We had 3 game 7s and we were not able to hop in and watch one. Like none of them were close. Knicks bringing it back a little bit, but I think it's too late. Yeah, it's gonna be way too late. As Tatum goes for 26, Shaq goes for 26, Bob McAdoo went for 32 and 17 on Chuck and Shaq. They do fall short. I mean, the Allen Iverson only having 8 points. He did have 15 assists though. I don't know why. I don't know what team this is if Allen Iverson's only getting 6 shots. But we got a Bucks Wizards and Portland Trailblazers versus Houston Rockets Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals. The Bucks are down 3-2 and the Trailblazers are down 3-1. The Bucks get eliminated, so Shaq, Barkley, and Tatum go down, as well as the Trailblazers. So Bill Russell winning the Western Conference Finals MVP. Oscar Robinson obviously winning the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. If Oscar Robinson wins a ring, a Finals MVP, and an MVP in a Legends Fantasy Draft League, that's going to be absolutely ridiculous. But the Rockets do strike first with a 1-0 lead, but the Wizards come right back. Let's see who takes game 3. The Rockets take game 3. The Wizards take game 4. So they're just trading games right now. The Wizards, though, are able to be the first team to win 2 in a row, and they are up 3-2 with a chance to close it out in the finals. Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to a game 7, like a 40-point win for the Houston Rockets. Gilbert Arenas going for 33 points. Oscar Robinson with 20 and 10, not enough. So game 7 of the NBA Finals all comes down to this right here. Think it's going to be too late. Yeah, it's too late. The Wizards win it all. So Oscar Robinson just went and won a Finals MVP, a regular season MVP, and a championship in the first year. That is ridiculous. Like, how stacked all these rosters are and stuff. Winning an MVP and a ring in the same year is absolutely ridiculous. It's going to be interesting, though, to see where people end up over the offseason, because these guys are only on like 1 to 2 year deals. So some of them might leave. Someone might make trades. We're going to see what happens. LeBron James is a free agent. Michael Jordan's a free agent. Why are Michael Jordan and LeBron James free agents? And we are back now, though, so everyone is back on teams. No one's retired. They're all like 25, 26 years old. All right, Victor winning the MVP of the league. 18.5 points per game, 9.5 boards, and 4 assists. That kind of seems a little light for the MVP. Shea winning clutch play of the year, putting up 21.9 points per game. Shea is still on the Brooklyn Nets. A lot of players changed teams. T-Mac, who was on the 76ers, is now on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Bron's on the Jazz. Victor is still on the Heat. Ja's still on the Warriors. And Billy Cunningham, I actually have no clue what team he was on before. Second team, Oscar Robinson, Chris Paul, Scottie Pippen, Dwayne Wade, and Giannis. And then Magic Johnson actually left the Celtics, and he is now on the Denver Nuggets. Rick Barry on the Celtics, Kevin Garnett, Pelicans, James Harden is on the Pacers now, and Michael Jordan on the Bucks. This is what the playoffs and play-in games are looking like. Michael Jordan is in a play-in game, the 9-10 play-in game over here in the East, with the Milwaukee Bucks against the Washington Wizards. Now, with free agency and salary cap being off, some of these teams did stack up on teams, and yeah, like, so the Bucks only put up 68 points and lose. Jonathan Kuminga was the leading scorer for the Bucks. I don't know what happened, but the Bucks only scored 68 points. Larry Bird scored 38 and led the Wizards to a win. All right, so I accidentally hit simulate round. So we are in the second round of the playoffs. Jordan obviously, you know, fell short, lost in the first round. They only put up 68 points. But Victor Wembanyama is the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference and trying to lead his team in this stacked league to an Eastern Conference Finals. Him and Zion are still on the Heat, I believe. Yeah, Zion, Franz Wagner, CJ McCollum, Victor, and Julius Erving. So that is a pretty good team as well, with Jaylen Brown on the bench. And it doesn't look like many of the series are gonna finish close, or maybe not finish close. Game 6 is still a close series, but maybe go 7 games. We do get one series going 7 games, the Timberwolves versus the Spurs. The Spurs have Luka, Paolo, Bob Cousy, Steven Jackson, Robert Williams, Kyle Flipowski. I don't know where Kawhi went. Kawhi's not on them anymore, but Timberwolves have Anthony Edwards and Tracy McGrady, who did team up. So that is a really good lineup. Hopefully this is a close game 7, because these are 2 good teams to watch. If we can get a close game 7, it's not looking like it, but still some time for the Spurs to come back in this game. It does not look like, oh wait, hold on, nah, they're down 6 with a minute. I think that's gonna be it. Yeah, down 7. Yeah, the Timberwolves do advance. So T-Mac and Ant moving on to the Eastern, or the Western Conference Finals against the Los Angeles Lakers, and both series are already 3-0, 3-1 both go to, 4-1 both, and T-Mac winning the Western Conference Finals MVP, putting up 31.2 points per game, and Victor winning the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, putting up 16 points, 7 boards, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 3.4 blocks per game. Almost 4 blocks a game is crazy. And this is going to be a really good series. Heat versus Timberwolves. We got T-Mac and Ant versus Victor and Zion. But Victor falls short in game 6. They lose in 6 games to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Tracy McGrady with 28.7 points, winning the Finals MVP and knocking out Victor and Zion Williamson. Michael Jordan did end up going to the Golden State Warriors to team up with Kobe Bryant and LeBron James. Yo, I'm not even making this up. This is actually crazy. LeBron, Kobe, and Jordan just teamed up in Golden State. We're going to go check the rest of that roster in a minute. Kevin Durant went to the Heat, and Scottie Pippen went to the Heat as well. I think Victor is still on the Heat too. Another super team that formed was the 76ers. Since salary cap is off, a lot of these guys seem to just be stacking on the same team. Dwayne Wade, Tim Duncan, James Harden, Larry Bird, and Westbrook. We got to check this Golden State roster out though. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron, Vince Carter, Jokic, John Morant, John Stockton, Pau Gasol, Willis Reed, Grant Hill, Sean Kemp. What in the super team? There's no way these all just teamed up, bro. That is ridiculous. And then on the Spurs, Curry teamed up with Carmelo and Luka Doncic and Shaq and David Thompson. All right, so there's going to be a huge gap between some of these teams. I think it seems like a lot of the best players are kind of stacking up. Chris Paul, Magic Johnson, so 2 like point guards stars teaming up on the same team with Giannis, Wes Unseld, Lamar Odom. The Heat have Julius Erving, Kevin Durant, Scottie Pippen, Tony Parker, Zion Williamson, and Victor. That is ridiculous. Oscar Robinson winning another MVP. Magic Johnson winning the 6th Man of the Year. So Magic isn't even starting in Houston. They started Chris Paul over him. LeBron winning the DPOY. Chris Paul winning the Clutch Player of the Year, Executive of the Year. Somehow the Lakers got the 1 seed over the Warriors. Lakers got Kareem, Oscar Robinson, Wilt Chamberlain, Rick Barry, Charles Barkley, Ray Allen. So they got a bunch of like the old heads on the team. So Lakers have a really good squad as well. Now I just don't think anyone's going to compete with the Heat in the East. Philly's a good team and everything, but that Heat team is pretty stacked. I don't think anyone should really compete with the Golden State Warriors besides the Lakers in the West. Looks like we are right so far as the Warriors and Lakers both sweep their opponents. The Warriors sweep their 2nd round opponent as well, but actually never mind. I wasn't even looking at the Lakers series. So the Lakers look like they're actually going to fall short to the Houston Rockets. Well, they're down 3-1, so I'm just saying they might, but they do bring it all the way back to a game 7. The Heat are going to a game 7, so both teams that we thought would kind of just walk through these conferences easy, at least to the conference finals, are getting tested to game 7s. The Lakers game 7 is first, but the Lakers are able to take it home, a 9-point win, 27 points for Kareem. So Lakers able to take it home. Now we got the Heat versus the Brooklyn Nets. Now SGA does lead the Nets. It is an 82-82 game right now. SGA is at the line. I don't know if this is his first free throw or second free throw. That is looks like to be it. That's his first free throw. I don't know how this is close. They just took Kevin Durant out. I don't know if they're going more defensive, putting Pippen in or what, but they took KD out of the game, the Miami Heat, and Tony Parker is on SGA, goes up for a bad layup. He's gonna miss. I want the Heat to win because I want to see a Heat versus Warriors. I want to see these stacked teams play each other in the finals. Don't get me wrong, the Nets are stacked as Chris Bosh goes up for a shot, he misses. That's a big miss for the Heat if you want the Heat to win. But I'd really like to see, especially Pippen with his own little super team play Jordan. That'd be a cool like little matchup. As they kick out to Tony Parker after Pippen misses. Tony Parker, nothing but net, knocks it down. 1-point lead for the Heat at home. They need to stop. And I just realized, oh my God, Chris Bosh just dunked on Zion. I was gonna say before they threw that lob, I realized that they did a rule change over the offseason. They have a 30-second shot clock now. Because I was like, why does the shot clock say 28 seconds? But that's because they have a 30-second shot clock now. So that's why some of these games have been more lower scoring, the longer shot clock. As the Heat need a bucket, they still don't put Kevin Durant in. I have no clue what they're doing. Yao's gonna send that to the second row. What are you doing, Tony Parker? Tony Parker's selling the bag. I don't know, like, why is Kevin Durant would be the best scorer on this floor? Why is Kevin Durant not in the game right now? You need a bucket. And the coach still doesn't sub KD. And Eric Spoelstra, looked at as one of the best coaches in the NBA, might just have made the worst move in franchise history. They also have Julius Erving on the bench, and they're playing Joe Dumars over KD and Julius Erving. Zion goes up for a contested layup. I mean, it looks good and all, but I don't think any of these guys are going to miss their free throws unless they get it to Karl Malone Jr., but they get it to SGA. I just don't think SGA is going to miss it. They still do not have Kevin Durant or Julius in the game. Who is going to shoot the 3 out of these guys? Is it going to be Pippen? Pippen with the ball. Pippen contested. Jimmy Butler puts it up. It almost goes in, and the Miami Heat fall to the Brooklyn Nets. That's a bad look for the Heat. And we got a Lakers, Warriors, and Philly versus the Brooklyn Nets. So we are not going to get that Warriors versus the Miami Heat team that we wanted to see. Let's be honest though, the Warriors are probably going to beat anybody. The Warriors just 4-0 the Lakers. Philly, Brooklyn is 3-2. Philly, Brooklyn is 3-3, and they looks like they're going to keep their 10-point lead throughout the 4th quarter. Yeah, 8-point lead. Oh, yeah, they have Ja Morant as well, and Ja Morant's actually the one that wins the Western Conference Finals MVP. I'm guessing Ja Morant's in the starting lineup at point guard for him. Tim Duncan winning the East Finals MVP, and we got a Warriors 76ers Finals. We're going to simulate through this. I'm guessing the Warriors are just going to, I was going to say they might like 4-1, 4-0, but they're down 2-1. They're down 3-1. They throw down to Stockton in the post. They are up 2 points with the ball at the minute 17 left. Vince Carter with it. They don't have Michael Jordan or LeBron James in the game. I don't know what these coaches are doing. Vince Carter getting guarded by Larry Bird. Jokic setting the screen. Vince Carter pulling up, and Vince misses. Hold on. Before that possession, we got to check. Harden got to the line, gets 2 shots, knocks down both of them. And Pau Gasol, they took Kobe out of the game to end the game. They have Pau Gasol on at the 4 instead of putting LeBron at the 4 and Kobe at the 3. Ja Morant getting guarded by Westbrook. Westbrook trying to make something happen, trying to keep the Warriors alive. Tie game. Ja Morant puts up a bad shot. Bron bailing him out with the board though, but misses the layup putback. Bron, we gotta hit those. Come on, Bron. Larry on LeBron. Larry step back, knocks it down. Cold-blooded shot from Larry. All right, LeBron getting guarded by Larry. They got to get a bucket to stay alive. If they don't hit it, don't score right. Oh my God, it rims in and out and they lose. I was going to say if they don't score a basket there, they lose, and they don't score a basket.